Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Smith, after indicting the leading Republican candidate for the President of the United States on August 1st, 2023, you asked for a trial date of January 2024, just 5 months later. During your deposition, you did not dispute that that would have given Trump's legal team just 5 months to review 13 million pages and thousands of hours of video evidence, working out to nearly 100,000 pages per day. Mr. Smith, you claim that you acted independently of the upcoming presidential election, and yet you pushed for a trial date ahead of the election. Why such a rush to charge and try and pursue conviction on President Trump?
I sought to move that case forward expeditiously because the public has a right to a speedy trial as well as a defendant. That is, there is Supreme Court precedent directly on point regarding that. I felt it was my duty to do that. I considered all options. I listened to
But isn't the right to a speedy trial primarily a right of the defendant? I honestly, before your arguments, I've never heard of the idea that the prosecution has a right to speed up a trial and require the defense to review 100,000 pages a day in order to get a trial in before an election. I've never heard of such a thing.
The Supreme Court, in at least, as I sit here now, 3 different cases, has stated pretty explicitly that the right to a speedy trial is the public's as well as the defendant's, and that
you were trying to get President tried, convicted, and hopefully in prison before Election Day. I understand, Mr. Smith. I think it's very telling that during your deposition you could not articulate any evidence that President Trump instructed individuals to unlawfully enter the Capitol on January 6, 2021. You claim that President Trump was, quote, responsible for the events at the Capitol on January 6th, which was not charged in your indictment. How do you reconcile that with the position of the department in other GA6 related cases that President Trump wasn't responsible for the events at the Capitol that day?
I'm not aware of the department taking a position that Donald Trump was not responsible. I think my recollection is the position that the department took in other cases is other defendants weren't not responsible themselves because of Donald Trump, that blaming him wasn't going to be a valid defense in their case. That's my recollection.
So on January 6, 2021, President Trump tweeted, quote, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of the country. Stay peaceful, exclamation point. This seems to show clearly that Trump urged his supporters at the Capitol to remain peaceful. Is that not right?
It's incorrect. First off, that
he didn't send that tweet?
He sent that tweet, but he sent that tweet only after being harangued by people to send something to stop the violence at the Capitol.
Okay, let's get the timeline straight then. At 1:55 p.m., there was a breach of the bike racks at the northeast perimeter. At 2:13, there were protesters breaching the Capitol, breaking into the Northwest Senate window and opening the doors. At 2:38, President Trump tweeted what I just quoted. That's 25 minutes between the Capitol building breach. Is 25 minutes, that's too slow? Would Trump have been guilty of insurrection if it were 15 minutes? Would it, 5 minutes? How quickly was he supposed to send that tweet to remain peaceful?
My recollection, as set forth in the indictment, is the timeline of when the attack of the Capitol happened, including the tweet that endangered Vice President Mike Pence's life, was different than what you stated.
So that tweet was after, of course, the riot had started. But President Trump also said, quote, we've come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully selected. I know that everyone will soon be marching to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voice heard. Peacefully and patriotically, is that an incitement of a riot?
That is not.
Okay, so in November 2016, Hillary Clinton disputed, for years called President Trump an illegitimate president. He knows he stole the election as recently as September 2019. Had there been a riot around the 2016 presidential election, would Hillary Clinton be guilty of inciting insurrection?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals. I will say that President Trump's conduct was without historical analog.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentleman yields
Mr.
back.
Chair?